Hello, everyone. This is Robert Mansour. I'm a lawyer in the Los Angeles area, and an issue has come up again that comes up every so often that I think deserves some attention, and that is how to go about choosing guardians for your minor children. If you have minor kids, kids that are under the age of 18, you should take the time to name guardians for those kids in case something happens to you and you can no longer care for your children. You want to pick the people who will have the legal authority to act on behalf of your kids. So I was reminded of an article that I posted on my website a while ago, and it's called Choosing the Best Guardian for Your Children. And first things first, it is a difficult chore to pick somebody to be the guardian of your kids, but it's something that you should do. Right here we note that nearly 70% of all parents have not taken the time to name guardians for their kids. And a lot of people don't realize that that's part of estate planning. It's not just creating a will or a trust or whatever. It's taking the time to name guardians for your kids. That's an integral part of it. And if you do not name guardians for your kids, basically anybody who wants to have that job can jump at it. Anybody can go to court and petition the court for the guardianship of your children. And that sometimes can lead to somebody taking care of your kids who you don't want to take care of your kids. So it's important for you to pick those people. So if you pick somebody, in 99% of the cases, the judge will agree with who you've picked and will name that person instead of somebody else. And I must say, sometimes when children come with a lot of money, like insurance money, sometimes people get in line to be the guardians of those kids. So the question comes up all the time, well, how do we choose a guardian for the kids? And the first thing that I would advise you to do is not to worry about anyone's feelings. Sometimes people name, certain individuals and they worry, oh, I'll hurt this person's feelings, I'll hurt my mom's feelings, I'll hurt my dad's feelings. Don't worry about that. The truth of the matter is, in most cases, they won't even know who you've named until the time comes, and you might be incapacitated or dead, in which case you won't really care what they think. It's important that you pick somebody good for your kids. Hurting somebody's feelings has to be a secondary concern. We are talking about your kids. So it's important to choose people that you trust. Next, make a list of all the people that you can imagine raising your kids. And I want you to realize that not everyone is perfect. No one is going to raise your kids exactly the way you have in mind. So stop looking for perfection. As a matter of fact, most married couples get stuck on this issue of who to name for guardians for their children. And I told them, don't let that stop you from creating your legal documents. You can always tweak it later. You can always change it later. And parents get stuck. So make a list of about 3 to 5 people or couples that you want to raise your kids, and then work backwards. Make a list of people that you never want to have raise your kids, and that might be a separate list. Then number 3 here, start making a list of the issues that are important to you when it comes to raising your kids. For example, is it the location where they are raised? What about the age of the people that you pick? Is that important to you? Their parenting style, their religion, their marital status, their relationship with your children. Maybe they have a great relationship with your kids already. In some cases, they may not have much of a relationship with your children, so you might want to keep that in mind. Then you want to take the first list that you created, the list of people that you've listed, as well as the second list, and start matching them up. And you'll start to see, good, strong candidates for the people that you want. In my estimation, it's always good to name 2 or 3 people in line to be guardians for your children, not just one, because that person that you pick may not be suited or may not be available or may not be willing to serve at the time that they need to serve. They are under no obligation to serve just because you've named them. It's simply a nomination. So that's why it's important to name 2 or 3 people, because the first person you choose may not be the best person you choose. And also, in some cases, you might want to include a short letter explaining what it means to be the guardian and what is expected of that individual, and your lawyer can help you do that. Some common mistakes people make when naming guardians for their kids. Number one I see a lot is people name couples to serve. They'll say, Mary and John Smith. Well, the question really is, which of those two people do you really want raising your kids? Because divorce rates are still high. And what if one person in the couple passes away? Do you want the kids remaining with the husband or the wife? Sometimes it's some of my clients say, no, only if those two people are a couple do I want them raising my kids. And if they are no longer a couple, then I don't want my kids to be with them. I want them to be with the next persons in line. And number two mistake, not naming enough alternate guardians. I alluded to this earlier. Naming one guardian is not sufficient. It is important to name more than one, perhaps 2, 3 people. As I indicated in my article here, you need backups. Number 3, a big mistake is that people consider the financial resources of their guardians. Gee, I'll leave my kids with John and Mary because John and Mary are well-to-do and they have a lot of money. I have to make this very clear. Your guardians are not responsible for the financial well-being of your children. They're not responsible for providing financially for your kids. They should be chosen on their ability to care for your kids. You need to provide for your children via your living trust, your will, your life insurance policy, especially any kind of schooling, etc., that they might need. So it's not terribly important how well off the guardians are. That's your responsibility to provide for your kids. Number 4, the parents don't consider the financial provisions of taking care of the kids. For example, are your children going to get everything at age 18? How are the assets going to transfer for the kids? All in one lump sum over time? Who is going to manage that money? Is it going to be the same person as the guardian or somebody different? If it's somebody different, consider the idea of the guardian asking the trustee, for example, for money. Do the guardian and the trustee get along? Do they have a good relationship? These are part of the larger estate planning concerns, and you should discuss these kinds of issues with your lawyer. The final thing, that people don't exclude people that they don't want caring for their kids. You can actually indicate what we call anti-nominations for people. So for example, if your cousin Billy, you don't want cousin Billy raising your kids, or your sister or your brother or whatever the case may be, you can include that in your guardianship nomination in your estate planning documents. You can say, I want so-and-so, but I absolutely don't want so-and-so. And there could be a variety of reasons for that. So in any event, this is just a really quick tutorial about the importance of naming guardians for your children. You should do it as part of your overall estate plan. Talk to your attorney about it. Make sure it's part of what you're doing. If you have kids who are 18 years of age or less, less than 18 years of age, you really should consider it. My name is Robert Mansour. You can find out more at my website, which is my last name, Mansour, the word law.com. That's mansourlaw.com. Thank you very much, and see you next time on the next video.